Okay, friends, so I have a few technical difficulties when I try to do flip throughs. So I'm just going to discuss 3 decks which I feel like there's like disability representation in these decks. One is, I think, not intentional, but I will explain. So the first deck, which I am obsessed with, is Under the Oak Tarot. This is originally Lo Scarabeo and then distributed in the US by Llewellyn. It is gilded, silver gilded. Maybe I can show that. Hold on. It's not that it's not that easily visible, but it is. You can kind of see it, maybe a little bit, that it's silver gilded, like on all sides. That's the top. And what I love about this deck, it follows a protagonist, which we're always following the Fool through the major arcana, but this is there's a specific protagonist with a name. Her name is I think it's Anima. And I don't know, I've heard it pronounced several ways, so that's why. And I originally heard about this deck from and this is her. And I originally heard about this deck from Hermit's Cave. And I considered making this video in response to Hermit's Cave, actually. But I don't think, it's a little bit specific to be about disability representation. So, anyway, but what I love about it is it describes each card and why each card is the way it is, but within the context of this dream realm that Anima goes to. She is visually impaired. I believe it's implied that she's blind, but there are times that she's wearing a blindfold, and it's her inner sight is developed, which not every single visually impaired person would love this trope. I know, there's, I used to have a friend who was mostly blind, and she would avoid, if anyone else did representation of blindness, and that's totally, legit. But I just love that, every single card has a little quote, from her about her interpretation of what's going on with her and the card. I absolutely love this. This is a deck from this year. 2 of these are from this year. I think one is from 2022 that I'm going to be talking about. So anyway, that's what I just love about this deck. It is a dream world art. I will put a full flip through from Hermit's Cave into the description. I know it would be great if I could do a flip through, but I'm just not that skilled at filming yet. And every time I try, it eats the video, my phone eats the video. So something goes wrong in the process. Anyway, so I want to move on now to, let me move on to the deck. Sorry for the mess, 1 second. I had this oh no, it's right here. Okay. So let's move on to the deck that gave me the inspiration for this whole video, which is, I believe this deck, it's definitely by Lisa Robinson. I'm moving things around. Sorry about this. This is what I mean about not being that skilled at filming. So Cirque Du Tarot, and it's set as a circus, and each suit of the tarot is an act of the circus. And I just have always been obsessed with circuses as a disabled person for many, many reasons. And then also I love the art, which is all these red tones of a stage and curtains and all that stuff. I just really as a neurodivergent person, it's really resonant to me and like and also some of my friends who are neurodivergent, because there's like kind of almost like a theme of like, it's like about it to me, it's about unmasking and masking and masking and unmasking. So I have gotten like, I don't know, definitely for like at least a month I was like pulling from this deck like every day, and like I haven't been in the last like let's say this month, I haven't really been pulling from it quite as much, but I really like, I've talked about it with my friends about how much it resonates with me and everything. And it just really reminds me of like all the like expectations of disabled people. And like, I have to say, this deck is not intended as representation of disability, but like to me, it really resonates for that type of reading. Like if I know that it would resonate with like a disabled client or something. And so, so you can see who it's by, and illustrated by Josh Tufts. And, so I only have 3 decks, like, really in this category, which is fine. Hold on one second. Okay, that is what I was trying to get in frame. So, the 3rd deck I bought specifically so I could kind of like finish this video, because I really wanted to evaluate this deck. It came this week and I opened it today and pulled from it today. What's here on the cover is definitely the Lover's card, and you can kind of see that it is the person and their shadow. And it's very gender inclusive, and it's also disability inclusive. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. The people cards are people cards, and there is like art in this that is kind of like pips, but it's very well done where the pips are not universal. Like every representation of fire in the deck, it seems different to me. So it's kind of pippish, but not really. It's cool to me because it's like emphasizing that the people cards are people cards. So I'm liking it. And I've had it for one day. So I pulled from it and it got me one of my stalker cards. So it's functioning as it should and everything. And this under it is just another deck that I've been pulling from this week. Unrelated to the video, but the 3 that I really wanted to emphasize are, this is the 5th Spirit Tarot. Having to do with the 5th spirit is the human spirit, or the connection of human to spirit, if that makes sense, like how spirit is the 5th element, more or less. You know, that's like the theme of this deck. I'm not that familiar with like the content of the book. I'm not sure if I fully would be always using the book, but I definitely would be using these cards. This is a case where when I got the deck and actually opened it, it was actually like more impressive to me in person than when I was like first like thinking about it after watching a flip through and everything. And so these are 3 options that I have found that are like neurodivergent friendly, disability friendly. There are physical disabilities represented in this deck. There's gender diversity, and sort of like the diversity of queerness in general in this deck. And sort of losing train of thought, I decided to film this it's the middle of the night, like way past when I would normally be up, which like I was definitely going to try to film during the day, but it's just always dark. It's hard to find a time of the day that there's light, so I just decided to go for it. And These are definitely like 3 decks where, I mean, I am obsessed with Under the Oak. Like, I've been pulling from Under the Oak every single day since I got it. The gilding doesn't hurt. It's silver gilding. Oh, and I also wanted to show something, which is that if you're familiar, so this is Hay House, but I believe it was originally an independent deck, which then Hay House, like, picked up. And, if you're familiar with, like, the Hay House boxes, some of them are, like, twice the size of this, but I just wanted to show, I have the Muse Tarot right here. So if you're familiar with the Muse Tarot, which I'm going to also talk about in another video, my next video, but, so this is like basically these boxes are like half of the size of what the, a lot of the Hay House boxes, are, and actually, if you look at, Under the Oak is really like a top-down box, but they're basically all 3 the same size. I'm not going to stack all 3, but basically they're the same size. Sorry for my haphazard filming, and I'm just like excited, and I was going to film this in January and everything. I'm filming it now. I hope it's helpful for you to know that I found 3 decks that are definitely like resonant with like the neurodivergent experience. To me, I mean, I've been studying tarot for a year, so the things I'm highlighting that I love about tarot recently are from my first year of study. And I specifically look for a certain representation and certain themes, which is why I will do a different video, which will involve the Muse Tarot, because I need to talk about this deck. And so my next video is going to be sort of the decks that I keep coming back to in 2024 that I like came back to for like my first year of study. And so some of these I will be discussing again, and maybe I will be able to do like a little bit more of a flip through. But it is also the middle of the night here. I should be in bed. So I hope this is like helpful for if you are looking for tarot with representation. And I will put in the description full flip throughs that other people have done that have been really helpful to me. It's just not within my skill set yet, and that's okay with me. Hopefully, this is educational either way. Okay, well, these are the decks I wanted to highlight, which are Under the Oak Tarot, Cirque Du Tarot, which I'll show that again. It's spelled like that, Cirque Du Tarot. And then this is Fifth Spirit Tarot. And this is also definitely by a non-binary creator. And it definitely has not just disability representation, but gender representation in the decks. And sort of like all levels of like gender, queer goodness in this deck. And I honestly, the one I'm personally pulling from like every single day is Under the Oak Tarot. I love this deck so much. So happy that it was highlighted by Hermit's Cave, and I will include Hermit's Cave's video in the description.